We're not even close, honestly. We're just not good enough. We don't obviously chemistry, talent-wise, just everything, and it was clear. Like I said, these last few games, I love this city. I literally, have done everything that I can. Um, you know, this situation is crazy. It's something that I don't think can be fixed. So, um, yeah, thanks.
Harden just openly criticized you, said you weren't as good as a team, and that he thinks the situation has no solution. Do you have something to say about it?
No comment. No, to be honest, man, with a team like that, that's a championship team. Just in our reality, when they score, do anything, they all stand up there cheering for each other. So that's what those great teams do. And when that happens, it trickles down from 1 through 15 to kind of can hurt a team. And when we play the good teams like the Lakers or those teams that's a playoff teams, we tend to struggle when we play the way we play at times. But when we play teams that's not as good and those bad teams, where I've been on the bad teams before, you kind of can get away with anything. But when we have certain guys in the mix that don't want to buy in all as one, it's going to be hard to do anything special, do anything good as a basketball team. I've been on those teams. In my 11 years been in the league, I've been on a team like that my first 5 years where it was all about me, not about the team, and that hurts.
John, do you feel like James has given this group a chance?
He's going out there competing. That's one thing I can say. He go out there and play. He's playing. He's coming to practice every day. He's showing up as a professional. Since the day he's got here, since he has committed himself to be here. So that's all I can dwell on. Outside of that, you have to ask James that question. But when he's with us, I feel like he's doing what he want to do and what he has to do to try to help us win. We look like an AU team today that just one person from Maryland, one person from North Carolina, one person from South Carolina, one person from LA, and we just meet up every weekend and just go play basketball. That's what we look like in a couple games this season, just to be honest. And you're never going to win like that.
Well. So, how did we get from here? From James Harden partying in Las Vegas in training camp, asking for a trade, and then he plays, and now he's ready to give up. He says there's nothing to do. What's up, YouTube, man? I'm your host, G Swag, and I'm back with another video. Because now we got a lot to talk about with the James Harden situation, and now the Rockets have a problem. James Harden is now became unplayable. He needs to be traded as soon as possible, because you can just see it in John Wall interview that he is frustrated with James Harden. He's saying like, oh yeah, James Harden doing what he can, but it's the little things that you have to pay attention to. When it's like it trickled down to the 1 and 15 guys on the team, where if one person off, the whole team is off, and that one person is James Harden. He's just physically and emotionally done. And he came at his teammates publicly saying that they are trash, they some garbage, and I cannot do anything with them. And it just kills the team. The Rockets are officially done unless they can trade James Harden. And I know that the Rockets want to wait. They want to wait till they get their little perfect little draft picks or like a superstar that match James Harden. But you gotta trade him for something, because you either tell him to sit out, don't be in the league, and like bite your lip and just give him that money, or you just trade him and let someone else deal with him. Because I'm like, James Harden, he's just not the superstar. He failed in the conference finals. Up 3-2. Couldn't hit a shot to get them to the finals. And cold there. He went cold against the Spurs. I forgot the year. But when Manu Ginobili blocked him for a chance for a game-winning shot. Like, James Harden has some good years in Houston, but he never got the chance to really finish. Man, I'm like, James Harden have to look himself in the mirror and say, what can I do to make this team better? Because I'm like, he's a great regular season player, don't get me wrong. Man, he's a great regular season, but when it comes to playoff time, he don't really match up to his regular season form. James Harden, he had Dwight Howard one for a couple of years. That didn't work out. And they've been having problems, especially with team chemistry. Then you got the Chris Paul. The Rockets, and what makes it funny is the Rockets did everything they can to try to get James Harden that championship ring. They got players from Dwight Howard to Chris Paul to Russell Westbrook. They always try to get him a second star to pair him up, trying to get a championship. And for some reason, they always ended in bad relationships, man. Dwight Howard just got unmotivated and then Chris Paul was mad because couldn't get no ball movement. And I blame the Rockets for Daryl Morey and Mike D'Antoni into creating a Harden the player that he is. I just think it's unfixable, and I would not know if any team would want James Harden. Man, they want James Harden the player, but do they want James Harden like the person, the teammate of James Harden? Because it's nice to have a 37 points, but if you cannot keep the team chemistry up or keep the team camaraderie, why would you want to trade him? Why do you want to mess up your team to get an emotional outburst player, Kyrie? It just don't make sense to me. Every team is not going to give up their pieces for that. Maybe a trash team. Maybe a team like the Pistons, the Cavaliers, and then probably the New York Knicks. But the teams like the 76ers, the Celtics, and the Nets, they would not want to trade James Harden for all the young people that they have and all the great players for nobody. Unless the Celtics for Kemba. But I'm like, why would the Rockets take that? Because they're not going to do Tatum. Dell's not going to trade Tatum. Celtics not even going to trade Jaylen Brown or Marcus Smart. I think they're going to keep those three. They left those three. And yeah, so it's a tough situation to be in. I'm just interested. I'm like you, man. I'm enjoying this show of a dumpster fire. So I'm like, hey, we'll see what happens to James Harden. Maybe he'll get traded. Maybe he's gonna bite the pill, or maybe just not gonna play at all. If I'm the Rockets, I'm not playing him anymore. He's done. He done so. I'm having him sit at home. Waste my money. Let him probably go to free agent. I want to trade him for something. I'm like, at the last day of the NBA deadline or trade deadline, I'm trading them for just anything, like a bag of chips. And I think NBA teams know that. They know they ain't gonna ride James Harden for this long, or let him go off for nothing. So we'll see NBA trade deadline, or whenever that day is, if James Harden will leave. But for now, he's done. I want y'all to be great, be good, G-Swag. We are out.
Oh,